reported today in The Verge. Qualcomm's $1,500 smartphone is for its biggest fans with more money than sense. Qualcomm, the company behind the Snapdragon processors and modems that power almost every major Android smartphone, is making its own phone. Or rather, the company is partnering with Asus on a custom device officially called the Smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders, a $1,500 phone that's designed to showcase the chip company's technology. And, as the name suggests, Qualcomm will be selling the phone directly to members of its Snapdragon Insider fan community, which Qualcomm launched earlier this year. It's an interesting idea, but unfortunately, the smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders doesn't look like it does anything different, when it comes to actually taking advantage of Qualcomm's technology, than any other Android flagship, which is particularly disappointing given the $1,500 price tag. The spec sheet here follows with what you'd expect from a flagship Android phone in 2021. The smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders runs Android 11, has 512 GB of storage, 16 GB of RAM, a 6.78-inch, 144Hz Samsung OLED panel with Gorilla Glass Victus, and a rear fingerprint scanner, using Qualcomm's 3D Sonic Sensor Gen 2 technology. Of course, if any of that sounds familiar, it's likely because the new Qualcomm-branded device seems to share a lot in common with Asus ROG Phone 5 Ultimate from earlier this year. The processor, naturally, is Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, which feels like a curious choice given that the company has already announced a more powerful 888 Plus model. Given the mammoth price tag and the promise of being an ultimate Qualcomm phone, it's an odd miss for the smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders. The battery offers 4000 mAh of power, and isn't the biggest we've seen in a smartphone, but it does support Qualcomm's Quick Charge 5 standard, although not at its full potential, maxing out at 65 watts for charging, not the 100 watts plus speeds the spec is theoretically capable of. The back of the phone features a triple camera setup, with familiar parts from other Asus phones. The main camera features a Sony IMX686 64-megapixel image sensor, the same found in last year's Zenfone 7 Pro, while the ultra-wide sensor uses an older 12-megapixel Sony IMX363 sensor, also used in previous Asus phones, as well as multiple Google Pixel phones. Lastly, there's an 8-megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom to round out the camera setup, and a 24-megapixel front-facing camera. Qualcomm is promising that the triple camera array will offer a professional quality camera experience, but it won't push the Spectra 580's triple ISP to its limit, either. While the phone can shoot 8K at 30 frames per second, and 4K at 30 or 60 FPS, it can't manage shooting 3 simultaneous 4K HDR video streams or shoot 3 28-megapixel photos at once. 2 of the biggest CL. For more on this story, visit the news article link.